Alex Bowman is probably one of the more scrutinized or criticized drivers in the sport of NASCAR. And I know now that I say that, all you people out there that criticize him for breathing too loud or anything like that, I'm sure you guys are saying, "Oh no, he doesn't get that much hate." You know, it's not as bad as you're saying. Like, it's literally like that. If you say one thing about Alex Bowman, then it's the opposite. So I want to finally try. I've been wanting to make this video. Chinnery's been waiting for this video since all the way back, I feel like September. I wanted to wait to see how the season started, and now with our Corona break happening, I think it's the right time to talk about this. Of course, it's coming off Phoenix, a race where he did not do well, but yeah. Chinnery, I know you've been waiting a long time for this, so here it is, my Alex Bowman rant.
Lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the...
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about Alex Bowman and trying to get to the source of why everybody hates him. And there really isn't one when I went and looked for it, so should be kind of interesting. And hopefully, if you guys have been hating on Alex Bowman, which I'm sure there's probably more of you that have been hating on Alex Bowman than not, hopefully this changes your mind and gets you to not hate on him so much. So I do find it funny that whenever he does do well, whenever he gets a top 5 or Auto Club wins, I don't hear any Alex Bowman hate, and I see a lot of Alex Bowman love. So he seems to be one of those guys that when he's up high, like, oh, it's a young driver winning, but then once he doesn't have a god tier race, it's back to the whipping. So but anyways, if you guys do enjoy, make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment down below. And I don't think I'll go on a cursing rant like my last rant about Brian France. I guess we'll go ahead and we'll put a clip here for you guys to see. Don't know why I pointed, because it's just going to be the entire screen. But here's a quick clip of that rant.
Was looking like Chase Elliott was all over the goddamn place. He was everywhere. He was on Sports Center. He was on I believe he was actually on the news, not the headliner obviously, but he was actually on the news. I heard he was everywhere. He won his first race. NASCAR was booming. All the media sites were talking about it. It was crazy. And then TMZ reports Brian France gets arrested for possession of an illegal drug and DUI, driving under influence. That is inexcusable. That's the most shitty example of shitty timing I think there's ever been in the history of the world. I can't think of anything more of an example.
And that was a very interesting rant, but that is all for my intro. Let's go ahead, and we're going to start by trying to find the root of why everybody hates Alex Bowman. So I'm trying to find legitimate reasons that people don't like Alex Bowman. Now, one legitimate, I guess, reason would be his Bubba Wallace situation, but on the flip side, I'm not sure that Bubba Wallace really held himself with a high class and did give equal opportunity for Alex Bowman fans to not like him for his actions at the race as well. Also, that is a situation that has seemed to have blown over. I believe Bowman said that Bubba actually congratulated him on his win, whether he's being sarcastic or not. Wasn't in the situation, so I don't know. But it sounds like that situation has really blown over, and one thing I have learned is to really let situations blow over. Like with the Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin situation, Denny Hamlin is not obviously one of my favorite, but I don't hate him anymore, and I've come to somewhat like him, I guess, as a driver. But if you're going to just hold a grudge on somebody for his entire career because of one incident, you gotta, everybody has a point in their career where, and probably multiple points in their career where they've done something that probably was not the most smartest or good intended thing to happen in their career. Any NASCAR driver at any point. So I'm not going to go through and list them all, obviously, but if you still hate him for the Bubba Wallace situation, I guess I don't blame you, but I would kind of let it blow over if I were you, because holding grudges is not healthy. Next one here is not a legitimate reason, but it is probably a reason that some people do still not like him or hate him. I don't know, hate's kind of a strong word to use, but why people do still hate on him. And that is because he replaced Dale Earnhardt Jr. Those people would be surprised to know that Dale Jr. handpicked him for the ride. And I'm not sure why. Obviously, he saw something in him, and it obviously worked out. But I mean, with any driver, I would say, really with the exception of Tony Stewart to Clint Bowyer, even then I guess there was some. Really, any driver that replaces, you know, a legend like Dale Jr., like Jeff Gordon, you're going to see some pushback. Even with Chase Elliott, I wasn't really watching the sport at that time, but I do know there was some pushback on Chase Elliott replacing Jeff Gordon, which by the second season, most of that pushback was, well, pushed back and not really mentioned anymore. But Alex Bowman, I feel like there still is some resentment to him for replacing Dale Jr., the most popular driver. But if you look at how he's done, he's really been the second best driver at Hendrick. He's shown that he deserves the ride. I mean, in the time frame, he's the only other driver to get a win at Hendrick since he's came to Hendrick. So, I mean, he's really proven that he deserves the ride. It's not like he's Austin Dillon driving the 3 car and not deserving it. He's backed up, you know, Dale Jr.'s faith in him, and there's really no reason to still be holding on to him replacing Dale Jr. Like I said, I understand, like, at the beginning, like, Matt Kenseth getting replaced by Eric Jones. I think there's Matt Kenseth fans mad about that. Same with, let's see, who else? I guess that was really about it. But there's always going to be some pushback when a young driver replaces an old veteran who had a lot of fans. So I don't know how many people really out there are really still mad at him about that, but I'm sure there definitely are some people out there. Now, the last one has really not been as prevalent, I guess, as of late. But I do remember the biggest quarrel that Twitter had with Alex Bowman was that he had no personality. I mean, it was a complete meme and joke that Alex Bowman had no personality apparently whatsoever, and he has really done a complete 180, because I even agreed with those guys. I did agree that he did not seem to show much personality, but I mean, the past 2 years, I mean, he pulls pranks on people. I mean, if you listen to his Radioactive, he always has some funny bits on there. And you know, him and Matt Benedetto is probably one of the, like, you can probably make a 5 to 10 minute compilation of just Matt Benedetto, Alex Bowman funny moments. There's some good times, and you know, he has probably turned into one of the more funny, in my opinion, personalities in the sport. I mean, he's no Clint Bowyer, no Bubba Wallace, but I'd say he's still more funny than most of our young drivers today. I'd say I find his interviews more interesting than, you know, that of a Chase Elliott, Eric Jones. I think he's a more outgoing personality, and I think his rookie year he didn't show much personality because, you know, he wasn't really, you know, around. You know, he hadn't really been respected yet, and I don't know if he just really wanted to step on anybody's toes. But if you go and watch he has some funny moments in Radioactive, and yeah, I think if you still think that he doesn't have personality, it's not valid anymore. You had a point back in 2018, but through 2019 and now 2020, he's shown time and time again that, you know, he does somewhat remind me of a Clint Bowyer, but not nearly as funny, I guess. But yeah, Alex Bowman, if you still think he has a personality, you're just holding on to 2018, I guess. I find it weird that Alex Bowman, I get the same vibes from people that hate on him as I get on Austin Dillon. I get a sense that people feel like he doesn't deserve his ride, and it's kind of like a silver spoon driver, which he can't be farther from the truth. I would compare his journey to the Cup Series, or to Hendrick Motorsports, similar to that of Matt Benedetto. They both started at the bottom of the totem pole and worked their way up. I mean, I would say Alex Bowman had a little bit more luck on his side. You know, he had a little bit more connections. Dale Jr. seemed to like him, but I mean, that's not really something that Alex Bowman really inherited. Obviously, he had to do something for Dale Jr. to pick him to come up to his ride. But Alex Bowman did it the old way that we, worship Matthew Benedetto for working his way up without any connections, without much sponsorship. But Alex Bowman did it the same way. Obviously, I mean, the big panic this offseason was because Alex Bowman didn't have any sponsorship going into this season. So obviously, it's not like he has a relative or a friend in a company that's going to just pay his entire season, like somebody like Daniel Suarez or who else was that? Austin Dillon has his grandpa's, or is it grandpa? No, I feel like his uncle maybe. I don't know. But, Austin Dillon and, let's see, who's some other one? Paul Menard, and all of those guys, people who have just connections and have sponsorship coming out of their ass. They were not one of those guys, and that was the main thing that held him back. But despite this, they were able to achieve rides at the top of their sport. Warner Brothers Racing is not, I'm not saying they're top tier, they're like just behind top tier, but Matthew Benedetto might just make them a top tier ride, so shout out to him for that one. But yeah, they both had starts at the bottom of the totem pole and worked their way up just the old-fashioned way that we praise Matthew Benedetto for. But I don't think I've ever really heard a non-Alex Bowman fan talk about how low Alex Bowman had at the start. He said in a podcast I watched, he filled in for Corey LaJoie, he was this close to quitting and going back to Arizona and doing his thing there after, I believe, Tommy Baldwin released him. And now he's a Hendrick driver, so I guess good thing he didn't leave there. I think what's really holding Alex Bowman back from taking that next step is really the same thing that's holding Chase Elliott back from making the championship four. It's the random part failures, blown tires, and occasional driver error, which both drivers experience. And I don't know if it seems like since they're obviously both driving for the same team, it's sort of a team thing that's holding them back. But again, at the same time, like I said, there has been driver error involved. I can point out Bowman at Kansas. He kind of took a middle line, which then allowed Keselowski to really get a run on him. But, I mean, I feel like Keselowski still would have gotten around him at some point, but still. And then Chase Elliott at Texas last year, he was running a way too high line for somebody trying to not wreck. And, well, he wrecked and he got loose, so that is driver error. So both experienced driver error, but if you also go and look, they have experienced plenty of DNFs caused by engine failures, part failures, and blown tires. The list goes on, and it's something that it seems like the faster the car, the higher the risk of seeing this stuff happen. Because if you look at William Byron and Jimmy Johnson, two drivers who have been slower than these other two, I haven't really seen a lot of issues for those two. It's just kind of weird. I just kind of wanted to point that out. But like I said, I feel like Alex Bowman, what's really holding him back is the equipment he's in. And I'm not saying that Hendrick is slow. I'm saying that Hendrick is accident prone. And I'd say obviously every team is accident prone, but I'd say Hendrick is probably one of the more accident prone. I mean, just look at what happened at Las Vegas. It wasn't Chase Elliott's fault. His tire blew within, one or two laps of pitting. And there hasn't really been any other, points of that this year. But last year, I already made 2 points. And there was also, there's a lot of, you can go back and look at them all. But, yeah, that's what, like I said, I think what's really holding them back is just how many problems with the equipment there has been over the past year. And hopefully this year, Hendrick has been looking really fast. Hopefully this year they will be able to. Also, Phoenix was another one I completely forgot. I didn't watch the race, so I didn't think of it. But Chase Elliott had a lot of issues at Phoenix as well, and he had probably the fastest car at that race. So, like I said, what really needs to happen is this year they need to minimize those mistakes, and if that happens, I could see both Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott making a run for the championship. But now I pass it on to you. Sorry, Iceberg, I didn't mean to steal your flow there. That's just kind of like the first thing that popped in my head. So, and then I just remembered that's what Iceberg does. Did not mean to do that. I don't do that every episode. Just happen to do that. So please don't copyright me. iceberg. Sorry. Anyways, but yeah, now I want to put the ball in your court. I want you guys to comment down below. If you're an Alex Bowman hater, why do you hate Alex Bowman? Why do you think he's undeserving of the ride if you do think that way? And if you are an Alex Bowman lover, I want you guys, if you're an Alex Bowman fan, I guess, tell me why you guys like him. Why do you guys root for him? And why do you love him? So let me know down below. I want to hear both sides of the story. And you know what? If I get enough comments, I get enough likes, maybe we'll make a part 2 to this, and hopefully that will end it once and for all. But if you guys are new, make sure to hit the subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts, and leave a like on the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.